As you guys see, we talk about everything here. Just talked about technology to make your life easier, improve patient care. I'm ready for my next guest when my teams are ready to bring them up. Awesome. So I have here, share with us what you do to help dentists increase their success and most of all, make sure they are not crying inside.
Well, Paul, it's nice to meet you. I'm Roger Roundy with DentalFi. DentalFi
Awesome.
is a financial firm specializing in helping dentists cry less due to numerous factors that cause them to cry. And so I totally appreciate the opportunity because this is fun. Listening to the different reasons that make dentists cry
Yeah.
makes me think about, how much I love what I do.
I also want to share,
Because
Roger, I'm going to share two things. First of all, I don't know why we need to have this interview because one thing at dental school, they went over how to deal with money, how to retire. We had so many courses. We can just end there, right? Just kidding. They also didn't talk about that at all. I mean, they didn't talk about how you could go from $500,000 in debt to making $250,000 in 3 years and how that's really overwhelming. So it is totally on brand to have someone like you helping us. But I wanted to pause for a second because my team has said this, and someone was saying this at our meeting the other day. When you see all these things dentists have to go through, you didn't always know this as a patient, right? You didn't always know this when the dentist came and checked your teeth. Does it give you a little empathy and compassion for what we have to do?
Well, it is interesting. And just so you know, I do have $1 million smile that cost me about $6,000 right now. So
Oh, nice.
just finished my work. So I'm super
Oh,
excited
thanks.
about
Thanks for supporting us. So
Yeah,
that
right.
is what you guys are doing in the cry less inside world. How are you helping dentists daily do that?
Well, it comes back to really who I am and what I represent. I love my country. I live in a little town called Providence, Utah. I fly a flag out front of my house. I love our country. I think that all of us who live in this country, because of the opportunity that we have, should all pay in much in taxes as we're obligated to, but not a penny more.
Gotcha.
So me personally, my career is based on helping successful entrepreneurs, dentists, those who are making more money, keep more of that money through advanced tax mitigation solutions. So part of DentalFi is a tax mitigation firm. So that's what I do personally. I really think that if we can keep more money in our clients' pockets, they're going to be better at spending it than the government is. Obviously, these things are appropriate for when we mitigate our taxes. It must be done ethically, morally, and within the intent of the code. But if I can help a dentist or a successful business owner keep more of that money, put it to work, that's really part of DentalFi solutions. These are advanced tax mitigation solutions, and ultimately, there's basically 4 types of income.
I love that. I mean, one of the things, as I've learned throughout my 2-decade journey through dentistry, is that taxes can be as confusing as dental treatment plans. Remember, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend Trident. They couldn't get that 5th dentist to recommend Trident. So I know, I mean, your world, it's really become pretty dramatic over the past few years between the PPP, the EIDL, the things like that. And I think, is it normal for a dentist to be confused by taxes, right? Should we feel stupid because we're confused, or is it normal to feel confused by taxes?
Well, there's 77,000 pages in the tax code, so even most CPAs are super confused. And not just to clarify specifically, I'm not a tax preparer, right? That's your CPA. I am a tax planner. So I work with the clients prior to the end of the season, end of the year. That's why right now I'm currently sitting in Key West, Florida, preparing, because the next 2 months of my life are super, super busy, because that's when tax planning needs to happen. Okay. So, but it is super confusing. And when you look at your income, all of a sudden you've gone from, student debt, you've been working hard, all of a sudden now you're successful. And what do I do to keep more of this money? Right. But here's a question for you, Paul, specifically, Paul. If there was a way in which you could morally, ethically, and responsibly keep more of your tax income, when would you like to know about that?
I would like to know about it now. I mean, we handcraft. One thing about dentistry, we're handcrafting our work on people. And, when you look at, I think people sometimes unfairly judge dentists as these rich people with a bunch of boats, right? Even though I have no friends, we have a low boat factor in my friend group, but everyone's like, how many boats do you have? People also will say, I did a $1,500 crown that must have paid for your car. And I go, what car are you buying for that? So we really do get bombarded with this financial stress. And it would be great if there was a way for us to make more. What clients, like, this must be a real aha factor for people that you've worked with. Give me one of these stories where you have aha-fied someone and now they are much happier after crossing paths.
When you look at who the audience is right now, right, you basically have 4 categories. You have those who own their practice. You have those who work for a DSO and they're a W-2 employee. You have those who are looking to sell their practice. All those 3 types of incomes have different tax liabilities to them and different ways in which we can help a client mitigate their taxes. So if you own your own practice and you'd like to save money on your income every year, your ordinary income, we might use an 831B. So for example, I've got an orthodontist friend that's been a client of mine for a few years, and every year we cut his tax liability in half utilizing section 831B of the tax code, and where we help the business owner create their own dental warranty, and they're able to take some of their gross revenue and pay it as insurance premium. So that's one of the ways in which we can limit or lower their tax liabilities, is through business deductions, right? If you're a W-2, a lot of guys will sell their practice and work for a DSO. That's great, and they become a W-2 employee. Well, if they're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year and as a W-2, they're getting absolutely slaughtered in taxes, right? There's ways in which we can help them mitigate their W-2 income. My favorite is, just got off the phone with him earlier today. A successful orthodontist in Utah just sold his practice for $4 million.
Wow.
He's about to pay, or would have about to pay, about $1.5 million in taxes on that sale. We've cut that tax liability down by about $1.2 million.
Wow.
So he's only going to pay about $300,000 in taxes on the sale of his practice. That's the type of value that we can provide. So really what happens, our process is pretty simple. We ask the client simply, how's your practice doing? Are you going to get killed in taxes?
And then just because I like to motivate people to move forward, Roger, when people text in or do something, they can text DentalFi to 215-543-6454. We'll share how to connect. What's the first step? Do they do a consult with you and your team? Do they send you their K1s? See, I can talk your language. They send the K1s, or, what do you do to get someone started? If someone's listening in my world right now, live or on demand, saying, hey, this sounds like me. I'm about to sell my practice. I am a W-2 employee and I feel like I'm paying too much. I'm a practice owner that's struggling. What's the first step?
First step is, let's have a consult. Let's talk about where your income's coming from. We'll diagnose the problem, right? We're going to find the cavity, and then we're going to prescribe how we're going to fill that cavity. And ultimately we'll tap into the tax mitigation enchilada and figure out which of the solutions will be appropriate for the problem. So it's just an initial phone call, 10, 15 minutes, or when you get onto our website, you'll be able to filter out, we have a filtration system where you'll put your information in. It'll kick out who's going to help you based on the income that you have. So initially it's just reaching out to us via either a phone call or getting onto our website. Let's diagnose the problem, just like you guys do. Then we'll prescribe the fix. So a simple conversation.
I absolutely love that. And, to inspire you as one of our newest sponsors here, please educate our community. Everyone on this call, everyone who's been on this show, educate our community. Educate them, share what they should watch out for, share some of the wonderful things that happen. Dentistry is an incredibly lonely profession, even when you're surrounded by people. And it's awesome to have people like you on our side. Thanks so much for sharing with us, Roger.
Appreciate your time. So it's great to be here.
So in less than 40 minutes, we have shared with you, my team can bring up the Smithson code, how you can increase success, decrease stress, and reduce crying inside. Please come and high or low five us in Philadelphia in April of 2024. Text Smithson to 215-543-6454.